Okay, let's continue. Nawala ang internet for a while, but basically, where we left off, if we continue to carry out these calculations, the answer sa atong area under the curve will be 0.612466, or from based on ani nga kuan, based on ani nga kuan, ani nga graph is that the 0.612466 na value nga nakuha nato earlier encompasses this area. Kani shaded. Okay, so let's try to continue now where we left off. Okay, now that we have calculated the area under the curve, what would be the next step? So aside from plotting, atong nakuan ganiha, we are going to nakita naman nato sa graph na mao ni siya ang area nga na-cover. So what are we going to do? We are going to find this area because mao ni siya ang area nga atong gi-concern. Kani dili tong pikas, okay? Kay ngano man, ngano gani? Because the asked sa problem is the area under the curve, ay the probability nga ang atoang cholesterol content sa atoang kanang ice cream is greater than 670. So it's this one. So how are we going to do that? It means that we are going to, since ang area under the curve is total area under the normal curve is just equal to 1. What we are going to do in order to obtain our answer is to subtract the area na na-calculate na to earlier. So, that from 1. So, it will be 1 minus 0.612466. And that is equal to 0.3875. Or, in other words, the probability that the cholesterol content from the solution na atong from the problem that was given, the probability that the cholesterol content will be more than 670 milligrams is equal to 38.75%. And this is the answer that we have to box. So unsa ang ato ang kanang conclusion ani? It means that the probability that the cholesterol, that if a cup of ice cream is selected, then the cholesterol content will be equal to 38.75%. And that would be our conclusion. And ato dang i-check daw, since 38.75% man to, no? Ato siyang i-check daw sa ato ang what's more 1A. So 38.59, dool ra kaayo from 38.75. That's how you get a more accurate nga answer by using interpolation. So let's try to answer the second question daw. Nga question B, that if a sample of 10 cups of ice cream is selected, so aside from let's try to state the given lang. State the given, the first step. This is step 1, the given. The average amount of cholesterol in a cup of a certain brand of ice cream is 660 milligrams, and its standard deviation is 35 grams. Okay, so we assume that the same as the previous example that the assume na normally distributed siya, equal on both sides of the graph. So if the sample, since given man tag sample, so the letter B, given man tag ka ng sample of 10 cups of ice cream was selected, we are asked, what is the probability that the mean of the sample will be larger than 670? So it's the same question that was posed sa ito ang kanang question A, except that we are given an additional na given, which is this one. So what do you think ang ato ang formula nga itong gamiton? Of course, we are going to ato na siyang i-honor ang present sa kanang kuan sa n, and we are going to use the second na formula, which is this one. Solution. Z is equal to x bar minus mu over population standard deviation and the square root of n. So the next step, calculate z. So z, we directly substitute unsa ang kuan ang x bar for 670. We are going to substitute the mu for 660. We're going to substitute the standard deviation for 35. And we are going to substitute the sample, the number of samples. In this case, it's 10. Calculating this one results to a value of an answer of 2 square root of 10 over 7. In decimal terms, this is equal to 0.9035. While atong itanaw sa Z table, with this kanang assumption nga ingani ang graph. Clear. Ingani ang graph. Let's try to look at it. Diba 0.903 man siya. So, doon naman kayo siya sa kuan, doon naman kayo siya sa 0.90. I am going to use the value nga kaning under sa 0.90 alone. Okay? Kaya doon na siya, tanawa, ang answer ba na to kay 0.9035. So, it's very close to this value, 0.90. So, what's the value again? A is equal to 0.8135. So, it's this value under the curve. Now, I'm going to erase this. This means that at z of 0.90390, the A is equal to 0.815. 8159. But since unsa ganito nga itong gi-asking inato, the probability that the mean is greater than 670. So what does it look like? So since this is the mean of the population, so nadiri si at the normally distributed nga kanang data, nadiri si 660, which is the mean of the population. So it means nga naa dire dapit si 670 at a z of 0.9. So calculating the area under the curve, kaning area nga underneath this shaded region right here, this is equal to 0.8159. Okay, but what we really interested in is this kanang area right here, kaning naiga blank. So how do we do that? Ang atoang pangitaon, in order to look for the probability that the mean is greater than 670, we are going to subtract 0.8159 from 1, since the total area under this bell-shaped curve right here, everything under here is 1. So that leaves nga kung kuha siya 1 minus this area right here nga ito na-calculate dire. it will be equal to this area. And this area is equal to 0.8149. This is equal to 0.1841. So the final answer, the probability that that after 10 that after 10 cups of ice cream, mahog ang iyahang kanang kuan, the probability would be 18.41%. And we'll box this. And ang conclusion, you are to state it in words. The probability that after 10 cups of ice cream, the mean of the samples, these samples will be equal to 18.41%. If matanaw ta sa atoang kanang kuan, sa atoang answer key, you could see that is equal to 1.18.b. So this is the answer of 1.18.b. And this is the answer sa ang pikas, sa pikas na page. This is the answer for 1.a. And that concludes our sample nga problems. Now, sa to next na to na mga kuan, next na to mga problems sa what's more, come on aside, answer. So numbers 2, 3, and 4.